Darius Carter stood still on the sidewalk, staring at the house he had left behind 9 years ago. 9 years. That was how long it had been since he walked out of this neighborhood in Baltimore, chasing a life he believed was bigger than struggle, bigger than survival. Back then, he had nothing. Now he had money, a business, respect, and a plan. He exhaled slowly, gripping the keys to his truck. "I made it, Ma," he murmured under his breath. His eyes moved across the house, the faded paint, the sagging roof, the fence leaning like it had been tired for years. Guilt hit him quietly, but deeply. "You said you'd fix all this." "I'm here now," he whispered. But just as he stepped forward, he froze. 2 bicycles, small, one pink, one blue, leaning against the side of the house like they belonged there. Darius frowned. Kids? His mother never mentioned kids. Then he noticed something else. Drawings. Crayon drawings taped to the window. Bright, messy, alive. And then, laughter. A child's laugh floated from inside the house. Soft, but real. Darius stood there, confusion creeping into his chest. Something didn't feel right. Slowly, he walked up to the porch and knocked. Inside the house, Lorraine Carter was sitting at the kitchen table going through receipts. Her glasses rested low on her nose. Her hands, rough, tired, worn from years of work, moved slowly across the paper. She heard the knock and sighed. "Probably Miss Jenkins," she muttered. She pushed herself up, her knees protesting, and walked toward the door. She opened it, and her breath caught. "Darius?" He stood there, older, stronger, changed, but still her son. For a moment, the world stood still. Then she stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him, tight, like she was afraid if she let go, he might disappear again. They sat at the kitchen table like no time had passed. Darius smiled, talking fast, full of energy. "I got everything I need, Ma," he said. "Materials, tools, I'm fixing this whole place, starting with that roof." Lorraine nodded, but her heart wasn't calm, because sitting across from her was a man who didn't know the truth, and under her bed, a box had been waiting for 9 years. The first week passed fast. Darius worked like a man trying to make up for lost time, early mornings, late evenings, fixing everything. But every day at exactly 3 p.m., everything shifted. The front door opened and the children came home. The first time he really saw them, he was up on a ladder fixing the gutter. A girl walked in first, talking before she even got through the door, confident, loud, fearless. Behind her, a boy, quiet, observant, watching everything. Darius paused mid-work. Something about them felt familiar. "Grandma, who is that?" the girl asked. "A man helping with the house," Lorraine replied quickly. The boy didn't speak. He just looked, from Darius to the old photo hanging on the wall, and back again. That night, something stayed with Darius. A feeling, not loud, but persistent. The days passed, and he started noticing things that didn't add up. The kids weren't temporary. Their stuff was everywhere, not packed, not temporary, lived in, permanent. The drawings on the wall weren't new. The tape had faded, the edges curled. They had been there for years. The boy had marks on the wall in his room, height measurements, dates going back years. And his mother, she didn't act like a babysitter. She moved like someone who had been raising them for a long time. The feeling in his chest grew heavier. Something ain't right. Then, one afternoon, everything changed. The girl, Maya, knocked her notebook off the table, papers scattered everywhere. Darius bent down to help. He picked up a paper, then another, then a document, official, stamped, a birth certificate. He wasn't trying to read it, but his eyes locked on it anyway. Name, Marcus Darius Carter. His heart skipped. He read it again, slowly, carefully. Mother, Jasmine Reed. Father, blank. But the name, Darius. His fingers tightened around the paper slightly. The room felt different, quieter. He stood up slowly, handed it back. "This yours?" he said calmly. Maya didn't even look. "Yeah, thanks." And just like that, she went back to her homework. But Darius didn't move. Inside him, something had just shifted hard.
That night at dinner, he barely spoke. He watched. The boy, Marcus, the way he sat quietly, the way he studied everything before reacting, the way he tilted his head slightly when thinking. Darius froze for a second. That movement, that exact movement, he had done that his whole life. His chest tightened. Later that night, he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, and for the first time since coming home, he wasn't thinking about success or money or fixing the house. He was thinking about one thing. What if? Across the house, Lorraine sat on her bed, the metal box in her hands, her fingers resting on it, still, heavy. She had seen the look in his eyes. That moment in the kitchen, she knew. The truth had reached him, maybe not fully, but enough. She closed her eyes slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. It's time.
The next morning felt different. Quiet. Heavy. Like the house itself was holding its breath. Lorraine Carter was already awake, sitting at the kitchen table long before sunrise. But for the first time in years, she hadn't gone out. No early hustle, no rushing, no pretending everything was normal. Today wasn't normal. Today, the truth was coming out. She stared at the small metal box sitting in front of her. 9 years. 9 years of silence. 9 years of sacrifice. 9 years of a truth that had grown too heavy to carry alone. At exactly 7:02 a.m., Darius walked into the kitchen. He stopped the moment he saw her. No movement, no routine, just stillness. "You ain't heading out?" he asked. Lorraine shook her head slowly. "Not today." Her voice was calm. Too calm. "Sit down, Darius." Something in her tone made him listen. He pulled out the chair and sat across from her. The same table, the same place, but nothing felt the same anymore. Lorraine slid the metal box toward him. "I need you to read something," she said. "Everything you need to understand, it's in there." Darius didn't move at first. He just looked at the box, then at her, then back at the box. Slowly, he opened it. The first thing he saw, birth certificates. 2 of them. His heart started pounding. He picked up the first one, read it, then the second. Marcus Darius Carter. Maya Rose Carter. Mother, Jasmine Reed. Father, Dash. His jaw tightened. His breathing slowed. Too slow. The kind of slow that comes before something breaks. Then he saw the photo. A young woman, pregnant, tired, trying to be strong. "Jasmine," he whispered. Memories hit him all at once. Fast, unfinished conversations, missed calls, a goodbye that never really happened. He picked up the letter. 4 pages. His mother's handwriting. And then he read. He read about the day Jasmine showed up at the door, pregnant, alone, scared. He read about the twins, about their birth, about the nights his mother stayed awake feeding them, holding them, raising them. He read about Jasmine trying and then breaking, leaving, disappearing. He read about the money, the struggle, the sacrifices, the watch that was sold, the medication his mother stopped taking just to keep those kids warm, fed, alive. He stopped, closed his eyes, then kept reading. He read about the phone calls, every time his mother wanted to tell him, but didn't, because she was afraid. Afraid he would come back too soon. Afraid he would lose everything he was building. And then he read the last line. "I was wrong to wait this long, but I could not let your children grow up without someone holding them." Silence. The clock ticked. The refrigerator hummed. Outside, a car passed. Inside, Darius Carter sat still. Then, slowly, he put the letter down. He didn't shout. He didn't explode. He just leaned forward and covered his face with his hands. 9 years, he said quietly. His voice cracked. 9 years, Ma. Lorraine didn't interrupt, didn't defend herself, didn't explain again. She just nodded. "I know." Darius looked up. His eyes were red now,
filled with something deeper than anger. Pain. "They've been here this whole time?" he asked. "Yes." "And I didn't know?" "No." He swallowed hard. "I missed everything." His voice dropped, lower, heavier. "I missed them being born. I missed their first steps. I missed—" He stopped, shook his head. "I was sending money, thinking I was helping." Lorraine leaned forward slightly. "You were helping, but you deserved to know." He looked at her. "That wasn't your decision to make." She nodded again. "You're right. No excuses, no defense, just truth." For a moment, they just sat there. Two people carrying the weight of the same 9 years in different ways. Then, suddenly, Darius pushed his chair back, dropped to his knees, and wrapped her arms around her. Tight. And for the first time in 9 years, Lorraine Carter cried. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, deep, real. "I was tired, baby," she whispered. "I know," he said. And in that moment, something broke and something healed at the same time. Later that day, everything changed again. 3 p.m. The front door opened. Maya walked in first, mid-sentence like always. "And I'm telling you, that teacher don't even explain it right." She stopped. Marcus bumped lightly into her from behind. He looked up. Darius was sitting at the table, waiting. Lorraine stood in the doorway, her face serious, gentle. "Come sit down," she said softly. "There's something we need to talk about." The room shifted. They sat, slowly, carefully, and Lorraine told them everything. No sugarcoating, no hiding, no confusion. She told them who Darius was. She told them the truth, all of it. When she finished, silence filled the room. Maya was the first to speak. She looked straight at Darius, sharp, direct. "You didn't know about us?" she asked. Darius shook his head. "No, I didn't." She studied his face, carefully, like she was measuring the truth. Then she asked the question that mattered most. "Are you going to leave again?" The room went still. Darius leaned forward, his voice steady, clear. "No." Not loud, not dramatic, but firm. "I'm not going anywhere." Maya held his gaze for a few seconds, then nodded once. "Okay." Just like that. Then Darius turned to Marcus. The boy hadn't spoken, not once. "Marcus?" Darius said softly. Marcus looked up. Their eyes met. And in that moment, there was no confusion, no doubt, just recognition. "I'm sorry I wasn't here," Darius said. Marcus stared at him for a long second, then slowly, he nodded. Just one nod, but it said everything. That evening, they sat together, all 4 of them, at the same table. Not perfect, not complete, but real. And sometimes, that's where healing begins. Some truths don't come out when we want them to. They come out when they can't be hidden anymore. Fate doesn't rush. It waits until the moment everything is ready to change.